drumming stereotypes.
Okay.
What are the before we look up any of these, because I've been looking some of them up today.
I would like to
What
see
what are as a drummer? What are the stereotypes that you've heard or that you think would be
that they're just stupid?
Yeah.
Like usually big, dumb, and stupid.
Really?
Yeah.
Big, dumb, and
Just
stupid.
like kind of like bass players, you know?
Oh yeah? Shit.
Pretty
bro.
similar. But I say that when it comes to the time to listen, I'd say they're like that.
Mhm.
But when it's time to play,
Yeah.
at least rock drummer, I like going pretty, like when I play, I go hard.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty focused when I play. But when I'm not playing, it's hard not to be focused on playing because that's all I want to do.
That's fair. Yeah, I believe that. I've seen that a lot too. When I was reading today, a lot of people were saying on like Reddit and whatnot that they're like, it's a cliche and it is a stereotype that like drummers can't like not play.
Yeah,
if it's
I'm always moving my hands.
Like if people are talking, and
everything.
which we have it all the time at our practices. But then I saw a lot of these people being like, dude, I don't know what it is. I've been drumming for 15 years. I can't help. If I have sticks in my hands, they're gonna. I don't even
need sticks in my hand. I used to get yelled at in class at Wilmot for
there.
just doing whatever.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. So this is what ultimateguitar.com says the top 10 drummer stereotypes are. All right. Number 1, drummers are always late.
No, I see it. Well, besides me, yeah, because I'm like never like I'm excited to be there.
Number 2 is drummers are always early. So it says kind of contradicts the first stereotype. You don't you think whoever spreads these rumors should at least try to stay consistent?
Well, I guess we're either early or late. We're never on time.
Yeah.
How about that?
I could agree with that. I could agree with that. Drummers aren't musicians is number 3. I disagree with that.
Well, I don't just play drums though.
I would
disagree if I was just a drummer.
I would disagree if someone was just a drummer. I still think that's disrespectful.
You try moving all your limbs in different.
I think how is that not? You know, like, and even if you think about, like, even like your toms, right?
Yeah.
Like you have 3 different toms, right? 4 different toms.
4 different toms.
They're all technically a different note, also.
Well, I don't go by note, like.
But they're also.
You could tune them to specific, like if we were really like wanted to get into that.
But you know what I'm saying?
We could.
Like when I'm producing a track like digitally, right?
Mm-hmm.
I pull up a piano roll, even though I'm doing the hi-hat.
Yeah.
So I can have the hi-hat. Usually it's just on middle C, right? And that's like if it's like a 2-step, it's like just on middle C.
Yeah.
But if I wanted to do like a crazy roll, or like in trap music, they do all these like glitch patterns and stuff, right? I might take that and I might put it up 2 or 3 notes so that it has a slightly different feel to it on that roll. And it's like, so for someone to say that like there's no music in it or that they're not a musician, I think they would be wrong.
Yeah, I think that's
that one's stupid.
False.
That one's bad.
I'm surprised you even wrote that down.
I didn't write these down.
I'm sorry.
Ultimateguitar.com. 4, drummers hate musicians. This one says many people think that drummers hate all other musicians, but this is not true in the slightest. Whether you hate someone or not, your choice is not determined by the fact that you choose to spend your free time wailing away on a new Gretsch kit.
I wouldn't say it's hate. I would say it's more so jealousy, maybe.
Are you jealous of other instrumentalists?
Because we talked about, like, remember, like, we've talked about how I just didn't like the drummer for some reason before, like, any particular, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And then, like, I talked to that one guy. I said I didn't really think I liked that much. And dude's awesome, and I just like him now. But I think it's because, like, in some aspects, he's better than me in some ways. Like,
it's comparison, man.
So yeah, definitely. I think it's just probably a jealousy thing. Maybe it's a food chain thing with drummers. I don't know. Do
you ever get jealous of other instrumentalists? Like, are you ever like listening to like someone who's on the keys or listening and being like, wow, man, that would be kind of cool? Like, do you ever?
I would love, like, the next instrument I want to learn is piano.
Yeah.
Really bad. I would love to know how to play.
Well, we know somebody
piano,
who teaches.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's a jealousy thing.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I get that for sure, man. I mean, I don't know if I get jealousy. I just more of the time I'm in awe usually of people playing. But every once in a while I get a little bit of like, oh man, I wish I was fucking like. Yeah,
but like, there's things that Dave Grohl can do that I wish I could do. That, like, those triplets I've been practicing.
Yeah.
Like, that's mostly from John Bonham from Led Zeppelin, but Dave Grohl.
Yeah.
Does them today still because John Bonham's not around anymore. But dude, it's just like so iconic and it sounds so fucking badass.
Yeah. No, it sounds great. Yeah. It sounds amazing.
So excited.
All right, let's see. Number 5, drum. Number 5. Oh, Mike's got it pulled up. Why don't you pull it up on the screen so these people can see it as I'm reading it too? These people can see it.
Dude, I'm looking at number 7. I'll wait for that.
Okay.
No, wait, maybe
it's
don't pull it
tier
up.
list.
Number 7.
All right, number 5. Drummers are occasionally transported to another dimension where the Germans actually won World War II and forced everyone to remove their fingernails as a sign of respect.
Huh?
Is this a real rumor?
Never.
Stereotype?
So we're back in Nazi Germany. And everybody got their fingernails removed as a sign of respect to who?
I don't know.
Because the drumming without fingernails would hurt.
Does that happen? Do drummers lose their fingernails often?
I've never lost a fingernail drumming.
What's the worst injury you've gotten while you're
Blisters. Blisters for sure.
Yeah. What? Okay, number 6 says drummers can't read music.
I'd say that's like...
You think
with most drummers, that's true, I'd say. I grew up in like grade school band, so I just learned how to read sheet music, but I can't read it as good as most people at all. Like,
it's like one of those
things. As soon as it came to like the xylophone and like doing actual notes, I could not read that shit.
So like I was in band and stuff growing up too for a little bit, like I only did it for a few years, but just that, and then I did music theory in college and stuff, so like I'm familiar with the scales, like I understand how to read it, but I'm literally having to be like, okay, that's one bar. That's the next. Like I couldn't do that fast enough to be any help to a production. You know,
I'm just a hands-on guy. Like even in school aspect or just learn how to do anything. Like I'd rather do it with my hands. Easier to learn. Like rather than read it from a book or something or whatever. But
yeah, no, I agree with that. Drummers can't read is number 7.
I mean, I can read.
Yeah, how well?
Pretty well.
Do you read any smut?
No, I don't read smut.
No.
Last book I
What's
read.
Last
book
what was the
last
book
time?
you read?
Well, I mean, everybody reads nowadays. You're on your phone all day.
Yeah, but what's the last book you read?
I've read that I can like remember reading all the way through for sure was a book called Rumblefish, and it was the prequel to Outsiders, The Outsiders, like the biker book.
Yeah.
I love motorcycle gangs and like motorcycles.
Did you really like that book when we read
I
it?
liked Rumblefish way better than The Outsiders. Outsiders is kind of cheesy to me compared to Rumblefish.
Really? Wow.
Rumblefish was really good, in my opinion.
Outsiders was about a greaser gang, right?
Same thing. It was just I'd have to reread Rumblefish.
I just know that
really good.
Ponyboy needs to stay golden. That's all I know.
Yeah.
8 says drummers see the world in black and white.
No, we're not dogs. I see color for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 9 drummers are easily replaceable.
So that's what I wanted to say earlier, like how you're saying like drummers hate other musicians. It is a very competitive position
with
to
drummers?
be in,
yeah.
dude. Like, well, I mean, yeah, definitely.
I think
like I was worried about you picking your cousin over me.
Yeah.
Just because like he's your cousin.
He's a great dude.
And I don't know if he's a better drummer than me or not. I'm sure he's a great drummer.
He's a great drummer. Yeah, he's a great drummer. I wouldn't be able to say
it's just
one way or
like,
the other.
There's select few drummers around here, but they're all good drummers.
Yeah.
So.
Well, dude, it's so weird because when I was growing up, I thought just because of like the way the band in our small town worked, where it was like they were like really selective on who got to be in percussion. Like you had to do an extra tryout. For every other instrument, they're like, what do you want to do? Mm-hmm. You can be in that even if you suck at it. I started on
baritone and then I got to percussion.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even do percussion right away.
But so that's what like I remember like friends of mine like trying out and shit for fucking percussion and then not getting it and then being like, okay, I guess I'm going to do trumpet or I guess I'm going to do whatever. And so they were really specific and they only let a handful of people in it. So I always thought like, oh man, it must be really hard to fucking get a drummer. And then I got a little older and when I was in college, before we did our first thing that we ended up trying to do that ended up falling through, so obviously my cousin was a drummer. He'd been a drummer for a long time.
How old is he?
So he is like 2 years younger than me.
Okay.
2 years.
So my age?
Yeah, your age, I think.
Okay.
You'll meet him at the show. He's awesome.
Sick.
Ian, he's at the show. He'll be at the show. He's been on this podcast too. He's a cool guy. So I knew him, and then I met 2 drummers when I was at my like small first school. That both were like, dude, like you ever want to do something, whatever, like let me know. And then one of my like regulars at my bartending gig is a drummer, like comes in all the time, is a sick drummer.
Just remember, I wanted something to do with you before it.
But that's what I'm saying, Ben. But that's what you know exactly when you said, "Oh, I was worried about whatever," you know, because I posted.
But it is a scary. It's just another thing to worry about.
Yeah, I get that 100%, man. And that's like, I think too because there's less. I think maybe there's less positions.
Well, I think in our case, I think it's different because usually like frontmen and drummers don't always bond as well.
Oh yeah.
As
Well,
like
we knew each
I'd
other.
say like guitarists and singers are usually closer in most bands than drummers. But like Nirvana, Dave and Kurt were best friends. So,
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
Yeah. I think
And we've known each other for
a long time.
long ass time.
Yeah.
So.
That's the thing. It's interesting with drummers because it's like, if you're a guitarist and you're like a very good guitarist or a bass player, whatever, you can kind of do either. So like if you were like, fuck, no one needs me to play guitar in their bands around here, you could be like, all right, I'm gonna switch to bass so I can play in some bands. Then I have a spot, right? Whereas fucking drumming, there's only one spot for that. So it's like, fuck, I either someone takes me over here or they don't, which is kind of tough. So I get that where there is a little bit of competition in that sense. But and this is something I want to give you your flowers on. When I had posted that I was doing this, obviously, and again because I knew so many drummers, I was like, I don't want anyone to feel like I'm slighting them by not reaching out. So I put it up on all my socials.
That's why I felt like
Did
I
you
was
get
battering.
sad?
I was battering you a little bit.
You
like,
get
before
sad.
we
You're like,
started.
you want someone else?
Well, I remember I talked to you at Alex's party, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Hey, man," I was like drunk as fuck, but
Yeah.
I was like, "Just make sure
Yeah.
I'm still in here."
Yeah.
So I just didn't want you to forget about it.
No, and so that's what when I knew that I finally had this in the works, I was like, all right. My big thing was kind of the same thought. I don't want to badger people because of our last time that we did it.
Yeah.
It felt like I was really having to beg people to come.
They just didn't want it.
And they didn't want it, right?
want it.
But so that was my whole thing. I was like, I'm just gonna post this up, and I'm gonna let whoever, because I know all these drummers now. Whichever one hits me first and really is about it.
That's kind of messed up, dude. You should have hit me up first.
Maybe I should have, but I just wanted to be fair.
Hey, no harm, no foul.
I wanted to be fair.
No harm, no
and
foul.
you were real, and you were real about it.
And we're here now.
And we're fucking about to play the show on Friday, and it's crazy.
Enough about the show.
And actually, I got to tell you some stuff about. Yeah, well, no, we're gonna plug the show a million times before this is over. 10 drummer. This is the number 10. Drummers turn everything they touch to dirt, which then evaporates into the sky and causes tornadoes, and that's why a lot of them wear gloves.
I don't wear gloves.
I've never seen you wear gloves.
See, and one thing, like Dave Grohl wears gloves, and I always wonder why.
Are they like finger gloves? Can you see his
it's just
fingers?
grip gloves, and I'm sure. I mean, the most drummers that I do see wear gloves are like the really hard-hitting drummers. So I think it's like a blister issue. It's so they don't get a blister, and then they'd be ill-performing.
It's like wearing batting
It'd be
gloves.
ill-performing because then you're worried about freaking hurting yourself. You're going through pain the whole time. So it's probably, and it's like speed thing probably, get better grip and faster strokes with the gloves.
Oh yeah, we got to get you some gloves, man.
No.
Just get your
I don't
stroke
want
game
gloves.
up, man.
I don't
Come
want
on.
gloves.
Come on, you got to get it up. But yeah, that's the top 10. What's something that you've thought? Those are what the internet, that's what ultimateguitar.com says. Shout out to them. That's what they say, the top 10.
Dave Grohl has a joke. What was the last thing the drummer said before he got kicked out of the band?
What's that?
Hey guys, I got a song I want to play.
Hmm.
And usually drummer or bandmates are just not in for
What the drummer has to say
what
about that. Yeah.
ever. So
Yeah.
which is not true.
I was gonna say we don't have
With
that
the
problem.
Dan Reeder
yeah. I was like
project,
we just kind of added some stuff.
I just yelled.
Hey, thanks for watching there, guy. Click right over here if you want to see that episode in its entirety. Or you can click over here and subscribe to the channel. See all the other fun shit we do here. It's really up to you, guy.